What's good? Different type of video here today. Today I got my NBA Eastern Conference standings predictions. I got a little slideshow for y'all. You feel me? Can't even say I don't care about y'all. I got a little slideshow for y'all. What they talking about? All right, but yeah, these are my conference standings. Oh my God, I can't speak. These are my Eastern Conference standings predictions. My 15th seed is the Wizards. My projected starting lineup is Tyus Jones, Jordan Poole, Denny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma, Daniel Gafford. Notable bench players on this team: DeLon Wright and Corey Kispert. Young players: Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis was fucking horrible last year. He was horrible in the G League, but he's a young player, so you gotta give him a little bit. And goddamn, I don't even know how to say this nigga shit. Bilal Kubali. Yeah, that's another one of the young players. They're just not a good team. They're not here to win games. They're here to tank for the pick. A lot of good players coming up in this draft. You got Ron Holland. You got Bazulis, whatever, however you say that nigga's name. You got Isaiah Collier. So they're just here to get a good draft pick. I mean, I'm expecting a big jump from Jordan Poole. Obviously, he's going to take on more scoring. I'm also expecting a big jump from Denny. I think he's showed flashes, and I think he can be really good this season. Lowest I can see them as being the worst team in the league. Not just the worst team in the East, the worst team in the league. Highest I can see them as being the 14th seed in the East. Yeah, I don't expect much from the Wizards. 14, I have the Raptors. Before I even start, look at this right here. I have a Raptors curse, okay? I am cursed when it comes to predicting with the Raptors. The year after Kawhi left, I said they weren't making the playoffs. They made the bubble. After that, I said, you know what? They're a good team. They can make the playoffs. They didn't make it. That's how they got Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes comes. I'm like, they're not going to make the playoffs. All right? I'm predicting it right now. They're not going to. I think Kyle Lowry was he gone by then? I don't know if he was gone by then. I don't know if Kyle Lowry was gone by then, but I'm like, look, they're not making the playoffs. They made the playoffs with Scotty Barnes. I see them make the playoffs with Scotty Barnes. I'm like, okay. And Fred VanVleet went crazy. I'm like, Fred VanVleet can go crazy. Scotty something, Pascal something. They can make the playoffs this year. They didn't make the playoffs this year. So take whatever I say with the Raptors with literally how white people season their food. A pinch of salt. I really can't predict anything with the Raptors. Anyway, my starting lineup for them is Dennis Schroeder, OG, Scotty, Pascal, and Jakob Poeltl. Notable bench players, you got Gary Trent, Grady Dick, Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher. Young players, you got Grady Dick and Christian Koloko. I don't expect OG or Pascal to be on this team by the end of the year. There's a lot of Pascal trade rumors. There's been tons of OG trade rumors. I think both of them players will end up getting traded, and the Raptors will start fresh. They also lack a lot of shooting. Dennis Schroeder's not a great shooter. OG's a good shooter, like a decent shooter. Scotty's not really a good shooter. Pascal's not really a good shooter. Jakob Poeltl can't shoot. Gary Trent's a good shooter. We haven't seen what Grady Dick's going to be able to do because he's a rookie. Precious can't really Precious can't really shoot. Chris Boucher can't really shoot. They really like shooting. So their defense is good, though. These are all great these are all great defenders up here in their starting lineup. So they could do something defensively, but I don't really see them doing anything this year. They're my 14th seed. Lowest I could see them being is the 14th seed. I don't think they get to that worst team in the league. And the highest I can see them being is maybe a 10th seed. Maybe they can make that play in. My 13th seed is the Nets. I'm not seeing what a lot of people are seeing in the Nets this year. Their starting lineup: Spencer Dinkelberg, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and Nick Claxton. Off the bench, you have Cam Thomas, Ben Simmons, Lonnie Walker. Young players: Cam Thomas, Noah Clowney, Dariq Whitehead. I don't think Noah Clowney and Dariq Whitehead are going to play much this year, but they are in that young core. They didn't win They didn't win many games after gaining Mikal and Cam Johnson. I forget the exact stat, but they didn't win a lot. They got swept in the playoffs by the Sixers. They could surprise people, though. I'm not going to lie. This is a team that's really hard to gauge because they could be really fucking shitty or they could be really good. I just really don't know. Ben Simmons could have a comeback year. Mikal, I think that's a shoo-in for an all-star this year. But yeah, man, I really don't know what to do with this Nets team. I could see them being a play, like I said here, 8th seed after play-in win. I could see them making a play-in as like a 10th, maybe a 9th, and getting to the 8th seed. Or I could see them being shit and being the 14th seed. I really don't know what to expect. Pistons at my 12th seed. Starting lineup: Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Bojan, and Jalen Duren. Notable bench players got Isaiah Stewart, Joe Harris, James Wiseman. Young players: Cade, Ivy, Asar, Jalen Duren, Marcus Sasser is a young player too. He's probably not going to play much this year. They're a very fun young team. They're going to have a lot of energy. They're probably going to try and come out and win some games. I don't see them trying to tank this year. Can win a lot of games with a good Cade season and a surprise rookie of the year kind of season from Ausar. I think he could he's looked good in workouts and he looked good in the summer league. Jaden Ivey can take a step up. I like their bench step as well. You have Isaiah Stewart, you have Joe Harris, you have James Wiseman. Your guard play off the bench isn't really the best, but I do think you can do something. It's like Alec Burks, okay? But yeah, I like their bench step. I think they can win a couple more games, but I don't see them being super crazy. I could see them maybe getting to that 10th seed, winning, and getting that 9th seed, but I don't see them getting into a playoff spot this year. Lowest I could see them being is the 13th seed. Magic at my 11th seed, starting lineup: Markelle, Anthony Black, Franz Wagner, Paolo, and Wendell. Notable bench players: you got Cole Anthony, Mo Wagner, Jet Howard. Young players, basically the whole team is young. I think they got like Joe Harris is one of their older players. Wendell Carter's older, I say that in quotation marks, player for them. I'm expecting really good second and third year seasons from Paolo and Franz. They already had amazing seasons. I wouldn't even say arguably. Franz a top 10 small forward. Paolo, you could argue for a top 10 power forward. They had really good seasons. Paolo looked good beginning of the FIBA thing, so he didn't really carry that on, but he looked good at the beginning. Another fun young team who can come out and win some games, compete every night with good bench depth. I really like their bench depth here because you do have Cole Anthony, Mo Wagner. Keep saying Wagner, Mo Wagner, Jet Howard. You also have like a Joe Ingles who's a vet in that locker room, so I do like their bench depth. Lowest, I could see them being really bad though. They could just fucking shit the bed, be shitty as fuck, 14th seed. But I could see them maybe getting to that 9th seed through play-in wins, man. Maybe they make that as the 10th seed, they win that 9th seed, and then they lose to the 8th seed. I could see that happening. My 10th seed is the Hornets. LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams. Notable bench players, you have Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Nick Richards. Young players, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, Nick Smith, Bryce McGowan. I really like Nick Smith a lot. Before he got hurt at Arkansas, we were looking at Nick Smith as the top 3 player to get drafted. I really think that's a sneaky pickup for the Hornets. Last time LaMelo and Miles played together, they were in the play-in as the 10th seed. They made some noise. Miles Bridges is back. He has had a year off of basketball, but I think he can continue the good season he had. Say what you want about him. I think he's a good player. They have a good mix of veterans and young players. So you do have these young players like a Brandon Miller, like a Mark Williams, like a Nick Smith. Even LaMelo is still relatively young. Then you have good vets like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, who honestly, I don't know if Gordon Hayward's going to finish the season with this team. But while he's there, he's a good veteran to show like Brandon Miller some things. I could see them being shitty though. Again, a lot of these teams, I could just see them being shitty. They could be shit as fuck. Maybe they trade Gordon Hayward. The young players aren't playing as good as we want them to. Lowest 14th seed. Highest, I could see them being this 10th seed, winning against the 9th seed, and then beating the 8th seed and making the 8th seed as the in the play-in. So we have to wait and see what happens with the Hornets, but I really do like the Hornets team. My 9th seed is the Bulls. I have them barely missing out on the playoffs. Starting lineup: Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic. Notable bench players: Javon Carter, Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, Torrey Craig. Young players: you got Ayo, Patrick, and Dalen Terry. For real, they're really running it back. Besides adding Javon and Torrey, they didn't really make that many moves this offseason. Like I thought they were gonna do a little bit something. They also brought back Andre Drummond. Oogie. Not having Lonzo is really going to hurt that defense. Alex Caruso is a very good defender, amazing defender. Patrick Williams is on the line, but Zach, DeMar, Vucevic, they can't really defend. So I get having Javon and Torrey Craig off the bench to help that defense, but I don't really like the Zach and DeMar pairing that much either. They're an okay duo together. They're not anything crazy in my eyes. And honestly, I could probably see one of them getting traded this year. Most likely Zach LaVine. I could see Zach LaVine getting traded this offseason. Not offseason, in like maybe trade deadline if things aren't really going the way the Bulls wanted to. But then again, it's the Bulls. Who knows? Lowest I could see them being is a 12th seed. Maybe a team like the Magic, a team like the Pistons just surpass them. And then the highest I could see them is really being that 8th seed. Pacers at my 8th seed, man. I really like this Pacers team. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield with question mark. We don't really know what's going to go on there. Benedict Mathurin, Jarice Walker, Miles Turner. You got Obi Toppin, Jalen Smith, Andrew Nembhard, Bruce Brown off that bench. Young players like Jarice, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard. I'm expecting a big jump from Ben Mathurin in his second year. Buddy Hield won't be here long, but I'm expecting them to get something decent in return for them. Maybe just a solid player and some picks, but I think a solid player to add, and then you let Andrew Nembhard come into that starting lineup who showed he's a good shooter. So that would be good. Expecting a Rookie of the Year type season from Jarice. I think he is a really good fit on this Pacers team. He's a defensive monster. He adds a lot of hustle and energy. I think he can be really good. Hey, Miles Turner talking like he about to be an all-star. So let's see it. I don't expect him to get traded. Let's see what happens, man. Lowest I could see them being is the 10th seed, and then the highest I could see them being is the 7th seed off the playoff play-in win. Maybe they play my 7th seed, who you're going to see in a second. Maybe they beat them. My 7th seed is the Heat, man. You got a starting lineup of Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, Bam Adebayo. Off that bench, you got fucking Thomas Bryant or Josh Richardson, I guess. Young players, you got Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic. Losing out on Dame is going to hurt them a lot, man. I've seen them throw their name in the Drew Holiday market. I mean, even with Drew Holiday, yeah, Drew Holiday makes them better. But what this team needed and why Dame was so perfect for them is because they needed scoring. They don't have that scoring. Tyler Hero coming back is going to help them. Maybe Caleb Martin has a good season again, like he recreates his playoff, not playoff because he was crazy in the playoffs, but maybe he goes crazy in the regular season like he did in the playoffs. Bam Adebayo, I've really given up on him having a scoring jump. Like, he's a good scorer, like a decent scorer. I don't expect him to jump in scoring. And obviously Jimmy Butler is just Jimmy Butler. Their bench depth basically doesn't exist, let's be honest. Like fucking Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, you're expecting Nikola Jovic, who you barely gave a run to last year, to just come in and make a jump. Jaime Jaquez is a rookie. So their bench depth is basically non-existent. Thomas Bryant and Josh Richardson are good players who fit that Heat culture, but I'm just not seeing a lot. Another reason I'm putting them in the playoffs is I can't put it past Jimmy to not make the playoffs. When things are going to get rough, Jimmy Butler's going to try and will his way to the playoffs. I forgot to add a lowest, what they can be. Lowest I can see them being is probably a 9 seed. Maybe they get knocked off by the Pacers, like I said. And maybe, let's just say a team like who's my 9 seed? Maybe the Bulls come in. Nah, I can't even see that. Never mind. Lowest I can see them being is the 8th seed again. 6th seed is the Hawks, man. I was too high on the Hawks last year. Last year I had the Hawks as, I think, my 4 seed, 5th seed, one of the two. I was super high on the Hawks last year. I'm not so high on them this year. Starting lineup: Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, Sadiq Bey, Clint Capella. Notable bench players: you got Patty Mills, Jalen Johnson, Bogdanovich, Adrian Griffin, Onyeka Okongwu. Young players: Jalen Johnson, Adrian Griffin, Onyeka. DeJounte Murray needs to come out and play defense. He wasn't a slouch on defense last year, obviously, but he wasn't that defensive first team that we know he can be. He needs to come out and play some defense this year. Trae Young, I feel like, is really going to come out with something to prove. Maybe an MVP type of season, dark horse from Trae Young. Getting snubbed from was he an All-Star? I don't think he was an All-Star. Snubbed from All-NBA, snubbed from the FIBA team. I think he's coming out with something to prove, to let these niggas know, like, hey, bro, a couple seasons ago, I was in the conference finals. I'm not no fucking bitch. You feel me? A full season with Sadiq Bey, who's a good shooter, is going to really help them. Problem with this Hawks team is I feel like they're expecting too much from their young players. Jalen Johnson and AJ Griffin, who they're expecting to have jumps to help them win games. And it's very likely that AJ Griffin and Jalen Johnson just don't have those jumps this year. And that could really hurt the Hawks if Trae Young is not struggling, but just playing how he normally plays, which is not really good for winning basketball. Highest I could see them being is a 4 seed. Maybe Jalen Johnson, AJ Griffin do that. Trae Young plays at an MVP level, so they can be that 4 seed. Lowest I can see them being is an 8 seed, possibly a 9 seed with a loss. Maybe a team like the Heat beats them, or the I really can't see the. I would expect another team who I have lower to come up and beat them before I see the Bulls beating them. 5th seed is the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey, D'Anthony Melton, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid, Paul Reed, Kelly Oubre, and Pat Bev off that bench. I don't think Harden's playing. I'm going to be honest. I don't see a world where Harden plays for this team again. Even if he's not traded, I don't think he's going to play for this team. So you're really waiting to see what you're going to get back from Harden, because I don't expect him to play at all. He'll take the fine, honestly. Like, come on, we know Harden. He'll do some nut shit, wear a fat suit to make himself get traded. If he doesn't get traded, I think he'll take that fine. Embiid, Gonna play at an MVP level, possibly even going back to back because he's gonna have to carry more. I do feel like it's gonna be a little bit harder because with James Harden, it was just easy, just playmaking. Tyrese Maxey isn't a slouch in the playmaking department at all, but I'm expecting a jump from him and MVP Bede. Fuck, I don't know how the fuck they say that shit. They be dick sucking this nigga. I don't think they're gonna have much playoff success though. I have them as my 5th seed. I have them losing first round to my 4th seed. Good addition for role players like Kelly Oubre and Pat Bev. I really like those additions, especially Pat Bev. That adds a lot of defense to your bench. Kelly Oubre, who had a little bit of drop in shooting last year, but we know how good Kelly Oubre can be. I could see them possibly being a 3 seed. Lowest I can see them being is a 6 seed with the first round exit. Cavs at my 4 seed. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. I personally would start Karis LeVert. I think if you start Max Strus, one, you're lacking in size because he's not that tall, and I don't think the defense is really gonna hold up. Even though you do have the Twin Towers and Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, that wing defense is gonna lack a little bit if you start Max Strus. So me personally, I would start Karis LeVert. You have Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Ricky Rubio. I think he's on it, bro. I thought Ricky Rubio was like fucking retired or some shit. I guess he's still on the team. Everywhere I'm seeing, he says he's on the team. Max Strus, Georges Niang, Isaac Okoro. Young players, you got Imani Bates. I mean, not going to play, but he's there. You got good role players and good shooting off that bench. You have a Georges Niang. You have a Max Strus who can shoot that thing. Darius Garland, I'm probably projecting him to get back to his all-star level. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's not my winner, but I think he's going to be second. Highest I can see them being, they could jump up to that 2 seed, man. Maybe a team like the Bucks struggle a little bit and they jump up to that 2 seed. Lowest I can see them being is a 5th seed. Knicks at my 3 seed, man. Hey, bro, I'm not even a Knicks fan. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm just really high on the Knicks this year. I look at their team and I really like it. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Off that bench, you got Q Grimes. You added DiVincenzo. You got Isaiah Hartenstein. You got Quickly. Got young players like Miles McBride. Another year of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. I think that's going to be great. They were good together last year. Brunson shooing for All-Star. If I had to bet my house on Jalen Brunson making the All-Star game, I'm saying he's making it. He was fucking great last year. Great in the playoffs. He's going to be an All-Star this year. I like their shooting and their defense off that bench. Dante DiVincenzo is a very good shooter. Emmanuel Quigley is a great shooter. You got defense in Quentin Grimes and Isaiah Hartenstein. I really think the Knicks can make some noise and surprise a lot of people this year, and that's what I'm projecting them to do. This is the highest I can see them. I can't see them jumping up to that 1 or 2 seed, and then the lowest I could see them being is the 6 seed. Bucks in that 2 spot. You got Dame, you got Malik Beasley, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez off that bench. You got Pat Connaughton, Marjon Beauchamp, Bobby Portis. Young players in Chris Livingston and Marjon Beauchamp. I'm not really big on the supporting cast besides Bobby Portis. You're expecting Marjon Beauchamp to make a jump. A lot of people are saying he's already showed elite defending. I haven't seen that. I don't know where that's coming from. I think he can do it. He can play defense for sure, but elite defending, you're expecting him to make a jump when you didn't really give him that much run last year. Off that bench that I didn't mention, you got like Robin Lopez, AJ Green. Not expecting too much from the supporting guys, but when you have Dame and Giannis, it's kind of like the Suns situation. Like, Suns have decent role players, but when you have those big players, it's just like, let them rock, bro. Because if Dame has off night, we know Chris Middleton can step up. I don't see Giannis having too many off nights. Dame and Giannis, I think it is going to take a little bit of time for them to mesh together. You know, maybe like a couple games. Maybe they go like 5-5 in their first 10 games. Just taking a little bit of time for Giannis and Dame to mesh, but I do think when they do mesh together, that's going to be an elite pick and roll. You know how good Dame is on the shooting. Giannis, excellent roller and finishing inside. So I do think that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Highest I can see them being is that 1 seed. Lowest I can see them being the 3 seed. I think maybe they can drop to that 3 seed. Like I said, maybe the Cavs jump up. Not the Knicks, but I think maybe the Cavs can jump up here just if they're having injury problems or something. But yeah, this is a championship team. That I'm not gonna spoil my playoff predictions too much, but this is a championship team for sure. Celtics at my 1 seed, man. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps, Robert Williams. Off that bench, you're gonna have Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Malcolm Brogdon. You have good young players in J.D. Davidson and Jordan Walsh. They're probably I could see Jordan Walsh getting a couple minutes because of his defense. He's a very good defender. J.D. Davidson, I don't see too much Really good shooting team. All this entire starting lineup except Robert Williams can shoot. Off that bench, you have Malcolm Brogdon, Al Horford can still shoot. Very good defensively. Al Horford, he does slack a little bit in defense now because he is getting older, but he's definitely still a good defender. Like I said, Jordan Walsh is a good defender. Malcolm Brogdon, good defender. Jason Tatum could be a good defender when he wants to be. Kristaps was amazing last year defensively with blocking shots. You know how good Robert Williams can be on defense. Derek White's a good, like, this is a really good defending team. The problem is you need Robert Williams to be healthy. He missed a lot. I think he played 35 games last year. Wasn't really available for the playoffs. You need Robert Williams to be healthy. The highest I can see them being is the fucking champions, man. They could make the run and win the championship. Them and the Bucks are my two teams I could see winning the championship in the East. In the West, it's a different story. I have 3 teams I can see winning the championship. But yeah, bro, they can win a championship this year. Lowest I can see them being is the 2nd seed in a conference finals elimination again. Maybe they get back to that conference finals again, going against the Bucks. Maybe the Cavs. I don't know. Wait, yeah, maybe the Cavs. No, they wouldn't even play the Cavs. The Knicks? Yeah, nah. Yeah, so maybe a conference finals against the Bucks. Maybe they lose. I can see them also winning the championship. But hey, man, that's my Eastern Conference predictions. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I will be dropping the West soon. Probably tomorrow, honestly. Or maybe in a couple of hours. Who fucking knows? But yeah, man, I'm going to get up out of here. Peace.